August TBR time. So I didn't do a TBR for, was it June and July? I think it was June and July. I decided to not want to do one in June because I was trying to do some mood reading. July, I just didn't get around to it. And I kind of continued the mood reading. Did I do a June TBR? I cannot remember. Anyway, we are back for August. Very much. How is it August? Also, I love how I've just realised I have not done the thumbnail, so I will be back shortly. Okay, so thumbnail options taken. Before I do my TBR, also I decided to sit on the ground for this one, and also I was trying to tidy up as well. I'm gonna do my wrap up. I believe I mentioned about what I read in June in a previous video. Did I? Actually can't remember, so I'm gonna go grab that book because it would be useful to chat about that book if I haven't already. If I have, sorry that this is a repeat, but I cannot remember what I filmed, so I'm gonna go pick that book up quickly. So I had to check my Goodreads just to make sure that like I didn't have anything else that I'd read in June. I believe the reason why I thought I talked about it is maybe because I mentioned it on a TikTok. Also, this book is dusty. You can't probably see it on camera, but there was some dust flying about. But the book I finished in June was How to Write a Love Story by Catherine Walsh. This was the first book I'd read by the author. I was very lucky in the sense that I managed to read it on Kindle. I rated this as 5 stars. So my average rating for June was 5 stars. So yeah, I very much enjoyed this atmosphere. This was very much more of like the vibes were it. I just wanted to keep reading. It was sweet, it was cozy, it was slow paced. Like, is there much to the plot? No, it's a little bit more character driven, but like it's still a very much linear plot, in terms of you know why he's there, you know what the end they're trying to do at the end, and I very much enjoyed like the arcs that occurred. I don't know, I enjoyed the small town atmosphere. Very much isolated, a few good characters, like not too many, but like enough to like create the vibe of the town. And like I don't know, I very much enjoyed it. Yeah, I very much enjoyed it. And I don't really know how much to say. I would very much recommend, and also now that I've read this, I'm very much looking forward to around Christmas time reading her 2 Christmassy books, because I intended to read one last year and then kind of didn't. And yeah, I'm just very much wanting to read those. Then on to July. So July I finished 2 books, and coincidentally they happen to be both hardbacks. And so one of them I read purely hardback, like purely physical, and another was a mix between Kindle and physical, although I did find myself enjoying reading the physical copy, because even though it was a hardback, it was like a floppy-ish page hardback. The floppy-ish page hardback that I read also in Kindle form was Our Perfect Storm by Carly Fortune. This I started back in June, because it was the Chapter House book club, like that book of the month. So I picked it up. I do own all of Carly's other books. I've only read 2 though, this being the second one that I've read. The first one I read was Every Summer After. Yes, Every Summer After. Yeah, did I rate this a 5 stars? I think I did. No, I didn't. I think I rated this a 4. Yes, this was a 4 stars. I just very much enjoyed the atmosphere, the vibe, the setting. But also something was missing from their relationship. I don't know. Or maybe it was just the fact that it was very blatant that she'd been in love with him for years. And it's kind of like also her, like how she was doing her self-disservice in her other relationship, and it's like, girl, why? Like, why? So I think that just overall dropped it down. And I don't know, there was just something about it that I was like, that was missing. I don't know what it was, but something was missing. But I am looking forward to reading another one of her books. Maybe this month, depending on A, the TBR, and B, what my mood is. I am hoping to read more this month. I do kind of, how my month is planned, I do technically have time to read more. It's just whether or not I use that time to read more. And then the second book, complete different genre, has anyone seen Charlotte Salter by Nikki French? This is by two journalists, Nikki Girard and Sean French, who are a married couple. Are they journalists? Writing partnership of journalists, and then the two authors. So I rated this a 3 stars. This is very much Charlotte Salter back in, what year is it? 1990. Supposed to turn up to her husband's birthday party, and she doesn't turn up. And then it goes to present day is it? Part 2 was 2022. When did this come out? I love how I'm like now searching for they have written a lot of books. This came out in 2024. But they probably finished writing the draft in 2022. Yeah, so this obviously a then and now timeline. The first part, which is the past, 180 pages. I felt like it could have been shorter. This is it 500? Yeah, this is I think it was like 530, I want to say. Yeah, 530 pages. This book should have been shorter. This should have been maybe 350. I just thought it was very slow paced, and I think for me, I prefer a little bit more faster paced. Like, don't get me wrong, where there's some twists, but also, and I mentioned it in a TikTok I made, when flicking through to find out how many pages there were, I did accidentally spoil basically who did it. But there were still some things that happened in between that like I wouldn't have expected to happen, but it was very much low stakes in my mind. It didn't, like, don't get me wrong, was it fast to read? Because to be fair, it is big text, so actually it probably, in a standard size text, is probably closer to 350, probably more like 420. But anyway, I still think it should have been shorter. This, yeah, just should have been shorter. Like, I liked the premise. This has been on my TBR probably since 2024. Well, the fact that I have the hardback means that I've had it since 2024, and it is being unhauled. I'm just going to give it to my nana, because even though she's got a growing pile, she very much likes the crime, thriller, psychological, that kind of scope of things, so she might enjoy this one. But yeah, so I just moved that to the bag that it needs to go in. Anyway, what I'm going to do with these is I'm actually going to start removing them. I think I'm just going to put them in a separate container so I can reuse them, but I think it'd be good to try and use some that we don't always use. I might stick the free picks back in there, but otherwise the actual prompts, yeah. Let's pick prompt number 1. I'm hoping that so I haven't really made progress on my 26 for 2026. I'm kind of hoping to make some progress. My 26 for 2026 is the ones that are like here. Not this one though, that's not. But yes, published in 2025. Okay, that one is. That's alchemized, by the way. I actually don't know. I think Second Death of Locke was. Shield of Sparrows, which I'm technically in the middle of, although I haven't picked it up since January, was a 25 release. I could do with something that's on my, that I could read on Kindle. Is there anything on the back? I feel like that's 24. Yeah, that's 24. That is an old release. In Her Own League, I think, is a 25 release. Also, I got the signed edition. No, it's a 26 release. Oh yeah, of course, I just put it on here knowing full well I wasn't going to get it until the end of the year. Breaking Point, I can get that on Kindle. And also it is a 2025 release. And it'd be quite good because hockey season is back. It's freaking hockey season. Like, pre-season games start back. I'm just picking up the others. That I've already read. I read that on Kindle. That's a 26 release. I don't think I can get this on Kindle, and it's also probably 24. Because I think 23. Damn. I think I've owned this one for too long as well. 24. Oh, first published in Great Britain in 25. So technically I could, but I don't think I'm in the mood for that. Obviously, I've got other... Let me move those. Ducky. I don't know what I'm doing with my voice. These are going to topple at some point. Anything that I'm like, let's do. I feel like to make my life simpler, I go, well, ooh, let's move you. And I need to move the book off the top because I cannot reach it otherwise. And the physical this, I know I have the Kindle version of One Golden Summer. If I'm not mistaken, it was a release of last year, wasn't it? 2025. It's kind of like, am I in the mood for a hockey romance or a lake romance? And honestly, in my head, I'd already planned to potentially read this month anyway. So I'm going to put One Golden Summer on my August TBR. I've been told I have to be quick, so book number 2. Let's just pick 4 and keep it simple. One of them is famous. One of them is famous. And I've just been told that I better get on with it. One of them is famous. As I've just caused a landslide. I could do Summer in the City. Do I own this Kindle-wise? No. I'm also trying to do this, like, fast-paced. As, like, do I know? I don't know any that, whether it's, like, they are famous. Well, do I even own this Kindle-wise? I don't know. Honestly, to keep this nice and fun and simple, we're going for Summer in the City. Prompt number 2. Set in another country. How nice. This is, and it's A on my 26th of 2026, and B, I own it on Kindle. So we are going to go for Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I'm going to try and get like a thriller on here at some point just to break it up. Illustrated cover. Illustrated cover to me means something like this. Because of the book plan slide, I can't really open this too much. I know what I'm going to go with. I'm going to pick the Summer Switch Off by Beth Reekles, which is book number 4 on my TBR. A fantasy. How very nice. Be great to pick something. I'm not going to take it down. Actually, no, I am. I'm going to tempt freaking fate. I'm going to stick Shield of Sparrows on here because I have it on Kindle. So that's book number 5, and that obviously breaks up all the romance. But I am very much a romance person, so yeah. And then book number 6 on my TBR. This is the fastest I've ever had to do my TBR. Even number of pages. Do I try and pick another that's TBR? Not TBR. Kindle. Are you even number? That's odd. I could do with something that's like different, is what I'm kind of trying to say. That's even. Let's look at my other options. I'll say we're going to go for this because it's slightly different, but still very much. And this is my TBR. Here you go, have a look. But yes, this is very much the quickest I've had to film my TBR. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.